Hello friends, welcome. So today again I have come up with another very interesting GMAT data sufficiency question with variables. Alright, so let's have a look at the question first. Question says that x and y both are integers. Okay, so does x raised to y into y raised to minus x is equal to 1? So that's your question, right? Followed by two statements. So, as usual, let us first try to analyze the question stem first. Alright, so what you are given in the question stem is that x and y are integer, and it also, so the question is x raised to y divided into, I'm sorry, it's not divided by, it's, let me do it again. Okay, so it says that x raised to y into y raised to minus x is equal to 1. That's the question, right? So let us try, since nothing much is given in the question stem, let us try and simplify this question. Okay, so let's try and simplify. So what else can we do? So can I write this y raised to minus x as 1 by y raised to x? Isn't it? So let me do that. So you will get x raised to y divided by y raised to x is equal to 1. I'm still keeping the question mark. Now what's next can be done here? Can you simplify it further? Well, the answer is yes. Why don't we multiply both sides by y raised to x? Okay, so let me multiply y raised to x this side and that side as well. So I will end up getting this in equation x raised to y is equal to y raised to x. Again, the question mark is intact. Okay, so the question actually asking you if these two terms are equal. Okay, if x and y are integers. Okay, so what are the conditions for that we need to look for in these statements for these to be equal? Okay, so the very first condition that might be coming to your mind is that how about x is equal to y, isn't it? So if x is equal to y, both these expressions, both these terms are going to be equal, right? Right. Now, anything else? Do you have any other value in mind so that these two become equal? Well, think in terms of two values for x and y which have the same prime factor. Let me give you an example. Let's think, I know, and this is where it is quite difficult. Okay, if you don't get this condition, then you might not get this question correct. Okay, so the condition that I'm talking about is this. How about x is equal to 2 and y is equal to 4? Isn't it? Now, if you look at the expression, you will see that, let me change the color here. Then you will get 2 raised to 4 is equal to 16. And 4 raised to 2 is also is equal to 16, isn't it? So these two terms are equal, right? Now this particular condition is very crucial for you to get the correct answer. Okay, if you don't get it, then you won't get the correct answer. All right. So now that any other value that you have in mind? Okay, let us try some other value. Okay, I'm just trying. How about x is equal to 3 and y is equal to, let's say, I told you the same prime factor, 9. Do you think it will be equal? I don't think so, because 3 raised to 9 is quite a big number. And what is 9 raised to 3? So 9 raised to 3 can also be written as 3 square raised to 3. Or if you multiply, you'll get 3 raised to 6. So both are quite different numbers, so no. This condition is not possible. Alright. So right now I can think about only these two possibilities. Either this, either x is equal to y, or x is equal to 2 and y is equal to 4. Fine. So we have analyzed the stem now. So let us go to the statements now. Okay. So let's take our first statement. So what is the first statement here, I mean, you can see here it says x raised to x is greater than y. Okay, so the information that you have to consider from statement 1 is this: x raised to x is greater than y. Now, is this sufficient? Well, if you're not sure or intuitively you feel that it is sufficient or no, it is not sufficient, try to validate your intuition by putting some numbers and then check if you're getting a consistent answer for this. You're getting a consistent yes or a consistent no. Okay, so let me plug in some number. Just put in some number and see how it goes. So let me plug in x is equal to 2. Okay, and so 2 raised to 2 will be 4. So let us have 5 is equal to 3. Okay, this is the information that you need to make use of. It has to be true. Okay, so you have to plug in the value in such a way that it does not violate this condition, because this is the information that they have given you. Okay, so I have plugged in the value in such a way that I don't violate this condition. Very important. So now what happens here? We know 2 raised to 2 is going to be greater than 3, right? Now let's try to answer our question here using these values. Is 2 raised to 3 is equal to 3 raised to 2? Clearly it's not. This is 8 and this is 9, right? So what is the answer to your question here? Are they equal? Is it a yes or no? So by looking at this, we can say that the answer is no. No, they are not equal. Okay. Now let's plug in or put in some other values for x and y and check this time if you can get a yes. Is it possible for you to get a yes using this information? Okay. So let's throw in some other values and see. So what other values would you like to take here? Okay, let's take up our usual value 2 and 4. So let's take x as 4 and y as 2, right? So let me check if I just don't want to violate this condition. So it says 4 raised to 4 should be greater than 2, and it is following that, right? So fine, we can plug in this number. Now, depending on these value, can you answer this question now? Is x raised to y is equal to y raised to x? So as you can see, we've already analyzed it, and I said that if x is equal to 2, y is equal to 4, or I would like to say if x is equal to 4 or y is equal to 2, even that will work, right? So even that will work. So 4 square is equal to 2 raised to 4, right? So now the answer to this question is a yes. Yes, they are equal. So you see, I'm getting two contradictory answers, no and yes. And in data sufficiency question, when you don't get a definite or a unique answer using a statement, we say that that statement is not sufficient. So I will say that this statement is insufficient. All right. So now that this statement is insufficient, we are going to move to the statement 2. Okay, we always move back to the move to the second statement, and now we are going to analyze this statement. Okay, now you are going to forget everything. This information is not no more applicable to you. Now this is the information that you are going to use. All right, so let's see what happens. So you're given that x is greater than y raised to y. Now, do you think this statement is sufficient to answer your question? Now, if you're like me, you wouldn't be able to make that out just by eyeballing the statement. So, what else we can do here? We can actually throw in again some value for x and y, okay, pertaining to this condition. You are not supposed to violate this condition, so plug in such a way that you're not violating this condition, and then check if you can get contradictory answer like these. Okay, so let me plug in some value for x and y. So let us first plug in, no, can we plug in 4 and 2? We cannot plug in 4 and 2 because we know that 4 is not greater than 2 raised to 2 in case if your x is 4 and your y is 2. Okay, so no, I cannot plug in this number. Can I plug in any other number and get contradictory. Can I plug in any other number and get contradictory answer? So let us just check here. Okay. So let's plug in x as, let's say, 9 and y is 2. Now if you look here, you will see that 9 is greater than 2 raised to 2. So not violating this condition, we can plug in. Now depending on these values, what would be the answer? So clearly, if you look at this, what would be the answer to your question? So we know that 9 square is not equal to 2 raised to 9. 9 square is 81, 2 raised to 9 is 512. So clearly these two values are not equal. So what is the answer to your question? Your answer is no. Your answer is, using this information, we can say that this the answer to this question is no, they are not equal. Okay. Now, can you try to kind of, plug in some more value, and can you try to get a contradictory answer? Can you try to get a yes? Okay. So if you see here, plugging in equal value for x and y, can you plug in x and y using this information? No, you cannot plug in x and y as equal, right? Because x has to be greater than y raised to y here, and both values are equal. You may not be able to do that. Okay. So from here, can we conclude that since you cannot plug in a 2 or a 4, which I have already showed you why, and also you cannot plug in equal value for them, using this information, we can conclusively say that the answer to this question is always no. What is the answer? Does x raised to y equal to y raised to x? The answer is no, and it's a definite no. And I get it from statement 2 alone, right? So it's not about getting an answer as yes. Okay, whether you get a yes or a no, you need to be sure. And whichever statement gives you that surety will be enough, will be sufficient. All right. So since just using this statement, I can definitely say that no, they are not equal. Okay. So since statement 1 is not sufficient, but statement 2 is sufficient, I can say that the answer is B in this case. Hope that helped. Thank you.